Project Evergreen. I never believed in Bigfoot, not until 3 weeks ago, when my cousin Jake vanished in the deep backwoods of the Olympic Peninsula. He'd texted me one last blurry photo at dusk, a massive, hunched silhouette between the firs, easily 9 feet tall, with shoulders like a grizzly and arms that dragged along the moss. The caption read, "It's real, and it's tagged." Tagged. Like livestock. I should have called the Rangers. Instead, I grabbed my rifle, a headlamp, and drove 6 hours from Port Angeles into the restricted stretch of forest the government sealed off after the '98 wildfires. The sign said, U.S. Forest Service, no entry. But the chain on the gate had been cut clean with bolt cutters, and fresh tire tracks led deeper in. The woods here don't feel right after dark. The fog rolls in thick and wet, swallowing sound. Every twig snap feels personal. I hiked 3 miles in before I found the first anomaly. A perfect circle of scorched earth 30 feet wide, with metal stakes still driven into the ground. In the center lay a shattered syringe, the size of my forearm. The label was faded, but I could read the stamped code, EV7. I kept moving. Around midnight, I heard it, the low, wet rumble that started in the belly of the earth and climbed into something almost human. A howl that ended in a wet, gurgling cough. My skin crawled. I'd heard every animal in these woods. That wasn't one of them. Then the footprints started. Massive, 14, maybe 15 inches long. But here's what made my stomach drop. Between the toes were faint impressions of metal studs, like someone had bolted cleats into living flesh. I followed them. The trail ended at a collapsed bunker, half buried under ferns and moss. The blast door hung open on one hinge. Inside, emergency lights still flickered red. Military crates were stacked against the walls. Stenciled Project Evergreen. Classified. I pried one open with my knife. Inside were photographs. Dozens of them. Baby primates in sterile cages. Then older ones. Bigger, hairier, eyes too intelligent. Surgical scars across their chests. One photo showed a fully grown male strapped to a table. Eye-vivy lines running into its arms. A metal collar around its thick neck. On the collar was a small black box with a blinking green light. A tracking device. The last photo was dated 2019. Same creature, same collar. Except now it was standing upright in the rain, staring straight into the camera like it knew it was being watched. I was so focused on the pictures, I almost didn't hear the breathing behind me. It was slow, wet, too close. I turned, it filled the doorway. 9 feet of matted black hair, muscle, and scar tissue. Its face wasn't ape. It wasn't human. The eyes were pale gray, almost silver, and far too aware. A thick surgical scar ran from its left temple down across its jaw. Embedded just below the scar was a small metal port, still glowing faintly green. It didn't charge. It just stared. Then it opened its mouth and made a sound I'll never forget. Not a roar, a whisper. Low, mechanical, filtered through something that wasn't quite vocal cords. Subject 47. Location acquired. Its own voice. The government's voice. Coming out of its throat like a speaker had been wired straight into its larynx. I ran. Branches tore at my face. My rifle was useless. I knew that now. Behind me I heard heavy footfalls, steady, unhurried. It wasn't chasing. It was herding. I burst into the clearing where my truck was parked. The driver's door was open. On the seat sat a small black box, exactly like the one in the creature's neck. A green light blinked in time with my heartbeat. I looked back once. It stood at the tree line, fog curling around its legs, watching me with those silver eyes. For the first time I noticed the tiny American flag patch sewn crudely into the fur of its left shoulder, like a uniform's. My phone buzzed in my pocket. One new text from an unknown number. Return to base, handler. Subject 47 has been recalled. Next test begins at 0400. Do not make us send another. The message was followed by a single photo. Me, standing in the bunker, holding the EV7 syringe, taken from a camera I never saw. Time-stamped 30 seconds ago. I'm writing this from the cab of my truck. Engine running, doors locked. The green light on the box beside me is blinking faster now. Outside, the fog is moving against the wind. And something very large is standing just beyond the headlights, waiting for me to decide. If you're reading this, don't come looking. They're still perfecting the design, and they need new handlers. Thank you for listening to another tale from the static. If this story left you feeling unsettled, do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps these whispers reach more ears in the dark. And if you want to hear what crawls out of the fog next, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll be waiting for you, right here in the static. Until next time, sleep well.